I've spent more than 10 years testing different morning routines, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the best one for Muslims, one which will enrich your life and your akhirah inshaAllah. I call it Allah's hour. This video will be a step-by-step breakdown so that you can craft your perfect morning routine inshaAllah. I'm also going to be sharing with you some bonuses and tools to make your mornings even easier and more productive. Alhamdulillah, the things I'm going to cover in this video are responsible for me going from someone who struggled to achieve things day by day to becoming someone who was able to train world-class Muslims, build seven-figure businesses and impact the world through building charities and Muslim organizations. So bismillah, let's get straight into it. Okay, so I'm jumping onto the screen here because I really want you to make this a part of your life so that you can get the benefit from it. So I've actually created a diagram which I will share with you, which will show you everything that you need to know. So let's begin. The first thing is, what actually is Allah's hour? Well, this is the first part of your day. This is a time which is focused completely on Allah. This is you and Allah completely alone and focused. Now, the first thing I want you to know is that it doesn't actually need to be an hour. I don't want you to see the name and think, oh my God, how am I going to spend an hour? Like, I got work, I got this, I got that. Don't worry about it. This is not about an hour. This is just the name of it. But I want you to really think about focus time, even if it's less than an hour. The other thing to mention is that when I'm traveling, when I'm ill or something's going on, I actually modify this routine, and you can have that as well. So you can have different versions. So for example, I have a shortened version of this same routine, which I use when I'm traveling or if I'm ill or if there's something going on. But generally, when you're normal, you just use the main routine. What I want to say to you is that if you're someone who's never had a morning routine, you want to start this small and you want to build to it. What I'm going to be sharing with you is what I've created over all these years of experience. But I don't want you to think that you have to do all of these things. Just start small. It doesn't matter how much you do. It just matters that you actually do it. So start small and build over time. Now, why is it actually important to do this? Well, the first reason is you want to get Allah's pleasure and help. Imagine every day you wake up and the first thing you do is you focus on Allah. And for that, you actually make Allah pleased with you. And at the same time, you get Allah's help. Like, imagine if you had Allah's help throughout the day, living your life with Allah the whole day. And this is one of the things that's going to help you to, inshallah, achieve that as well. Now, what you need to realize is that the way you start your day is really important. It's critical, right? And so what you want to do is you want to start it in the best way. This routine is going to help you to do that as well. The other thing it will do is once you actually do this routine, at the end of it, you will feel confident. You will feel ready. And it's going to actually give you a feeling of achievement before you've even spoken to anyone, seen anything. You're going to feel all these amazing feelings without actually doing anything with anyone else or interacting at all. And then the other thing this is amazing is that it actually makes every day great. It makes every day great. And if you think about your life is just a collection of days. And so if you can have a great day every day, you actually have a great life. And this is exactly what my aim is for you. So how do we actually do it? Well, the first thing before we go into this is I don't want you to watch this like a normal YouTube binge, right? Where you're just watching a video and you do nothing, you just watch video after video after video. I want you to have this intention right now that I am going to implement this routine. And you know, just by you having that intention alone, that's going to earn you a reward because you're doing it for the sake of Allah. So right now, I want you to watch the rest of this video with that mindset that I am going to implement everything that is being said here, or at least what I can to my ability, inshallah. So make sure that you have that intention before we go on. The other thing is that I want you to use this video as a bit of a workshop for you, right? So I want you to basically craft your routine with me. Now, I know it can be hard because maybe you're watching this on your phone, you're laying in your bed or whatever, but when I'm in that kind of mode where I'm watching something useful, I'll still have the notes app open, right? And maybe I'll put an action for me, craft my morning routine, or if I see a good video and they're saying stuff, while I'm even laying down on the sofa or whatever, I'll just type into my phone part of it. So in the same way, I want you to craft the routine with me. So as I'm going through this, do the work right now, because if you do it right now, you won't procrastinate, you won't put it off, and you won't miss the value of it. So make sure that you do that now. Now, the big question, okay? So this is the big thing to keep in your mind. Imagine today is the day that you're going to meet Allah. It's the day that you're going to die. Like on that day, when this is going to happen. And this is going to happen for sure. I don't want to put a downer on it, but this is the reality which is waiting for you. So imagine that this is actually going to happen today. What are some of the things that you would have loved to have done today? Like imagine you were going to meet Allah today and you just died. And you think, man, you know what? On the day that I die, I want to do this and this and this and this. And this is exactly how you should be thinking. And this is how you're going to achieve something amazing. So, Bismillah, let's get straight into it. That's the question. If there's answers coming to your head, by the way, feel free to write them down already of the things that you think you want to do. So the way I've done this is there's actually a 3-part blueprint to this, right? So the first part of this is what I call start with Sunnah. The second part is energize your iman. And then the third part is Superstack habits. So this is the blueprint that I've actually created for you guys, right? So the way it works is very simple. What is start with Sunnah? This is the exact way that you are going to start the very first few seconds and minutes of your day. And like I keep saying, this is so important for you in the way that you start. I was listening to this neuroscientist and they were saying the way you start your morning, it actually affects your brain and the rest of your day. So this is what it is. Now, why is it important to do this? Because if you want to do anything in the best way, and of course you want to have the best day possible, you cannot do something in the best way without following the Prophet ﷺ, right? So you need to make sure that whatever you do is based on the Prophet ﷺ, because he was the greatest of all people to ever live, and therefore we want to follow his example as well. Now, one of the things you need to know is that the Prophet ﷺ did not start his day by scrolling through social media. Okay? He did not start his day by going on his phones. So this is really, really important, that there are no phones allowed until you've completed Allah's hour. Okay? This is like, if there was only one rule to having an amazing morning, this is the number one rule, right? You are not allowed to check your phone when you start your day. That is number one rule. And what I would say to you is that you have to remember that your phone doesn't deserve you. Like the first few minutes of your life, when you wake up, the phone doesn't deserve you, but Allah does. Allah deserves those first few minutes, right? So I want you to make that intention now that you're not going to check your phone. Now, of course, if you have to press your phone to switch off the alarm or you want to read Quran or something like that, that's different. But I'm talking about going on any app, anything at all, do not touch it. This is one of the biggest rules for success. If you just took this one thing away from the video where all you did was just not check your phone, that would change your life alone. So please make sure that you do this. Now, once you wake up, the first few seconds, you want it to be all about Allah, like I said, from the very start. So as soon as you wake up, you want to say the dua for waking up. Okay? This is a very simple, short dua that you will say as soon as you wake up. So you wake up, the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear your alarm or when you wake up is actually this dua. And you say it maybe even before moving or anything like that, right? So you say the dua. And of course you can Google this and you can find all the duas and everything, right? The next thing I would say is that it's very important that you actually move, right? Move your body. I've got this thing. If you lay, you don't pray. Meaning, you know, we've all had those times when you're in your bed and you're like, yeah, I'm going to get up in a few minutes, and you don't, and you fall asleep and you miss salah, right? So what I'm saying to you is if you lay, you don't pray. So what you want to do is you want to sit up. As soon as you hear the alarm, you want to sit up. You can rub your eyes, you can move, whatever you want to do, but do something to move your body because that will get you out of that sleep mode, right? Now, the other thing is make sure that you drink water. This is something I do. I put water next to my bed every single night in a bottle, and then every morning, as soon as I wake up, as soon as I've sit up, I will drink water. Because you know your body, it's like maybe you slept for 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever it was, your body hasn't had water, it's dehydrated. So drinking water is really, really good, not only for hydrating your body, but again, waking you up. It gives you that, okay, I'm awake feeling, right? So these are, again, very simple things that you can do early in the morning as soon as you wake up, inshallah. The next thing is for you to make wudu. You want to go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, go toilet, do whatever you need to do, make wudu. Then I would also say, get ready. Okay, now you might be saying, bro, I'm just going to go pray Fajr. Like, why do I need to get ready, right? And I'm like, no, actually put on the clothes that you would wear and do that, right? Before, I used to always just, if I'm in my shorts or whatever, I sleep and just pray in that. But you're meeting Allah. And if I was going to go out and meet someone outside, I would actually wear clothes. I wouldn't go out in those shorts. So in the same way, you want to put on your clothes, and maybe you even want to put on some perfume, right? Just so that you get yourself, because you're about to meet Allah, you're about to pray. The quality of your prayer will actually make you feel better. So you want to improve that in every way that you can as well, inshallah. Now, the next thing is for you to actually pray Fajr. right? So of course, there's all these other du'as, by the way, right? But I want you to get into this kind of mode where you are building up slowly. So if you already know the morning du'a, maybe you could learn the du'a for basically putting your clothes on. Or if you already know that, you can learn the other du'a, right? But what I want you to say to you is that praying Fajr at the masjid has a lot of benefits, right? It has a lot of benefits. Number one is that you actually get under the protection of Allah. There's hadith about this. If you pray Fajr in the masjid, you are under the protection of Allah. And by the way, if you're a sister, you don't need to do that and you still get the rewards. As long as you have those intentions, inshallah, you will get the reward as well, right? So praying Fajr at the masjid, it gets you that thing. Also, it gives you a form of movement. This is one of the reasons why I like it. I don't exercise so much, but actually being able to walk to the masjid and back is some sort of activity for me, and it actually gets your body into some sort of movement early in the morning as well. Now, if you are going to go out for Fajr, you want to make sure that you're doing the other du'as. So for example, the du'a for leaving home. There's also a du'a for your car, but a lot of people don't realize even an elevator is kind of a vehicle. So you could make the du'a in the elevator as well when you're walking, all this kind of stuff, right? So these are the first core things you want to do. And like I said, you want to do all of this stuff without touching your phone. As soon as you've woken up, this is all about Allah. So let's get into the next section. So the next section is energize your iman. Okay, so these are the actions that are going to give you the energy and the iman that you need to face the day in the best way. Now, why is this important? Because iman is the fuel for your soul. And it needs to be refueled to keep you going, like everything, right? In your car, you just don't fill up once and never fill up again. You have to fill up every time you use it. And in the same way, iman is that fuel that's going to keep you going, inshallah. Now, the way we're going to do this is what I call the 5 R's. Okay, so I've tried to create a very simple formula which will remind you of what it is, the 5 R's. So what are the 5 R's? The first thing is read the Quran. Okay, this is a very, very obvious one. This, I would say, in addition to your compulsory prayers, this should be the very first habit that you build in your life. Actually reading the Quran, right? And it doesn't need to be a huge amount. Okay, it could even be 1 ayah as long as you read it every day. And why do you want to do this? Because imagine you waking up in the morning, and as soon as you wake up, you open up a message and you basically see, oh yeah, this person's angry at me, and then you see negative news, and all this stuff is going on in your head. But instead of that, the first thing your mind consumes is actually the words of Allah. Right? This is what you want to do. You want to read the Quran. You want to read it in Arabic. You want to read it in English. And like I said, even if it's just 1 ayah, just make sure that you read it regularly, and it will be huge for you, inshallah. If you can do more, of course, do more. The next thing is to recite the adhkar. So adhkar, there are certain words of remembrance of Allah that the Prophet ﷺ used to say in the morning and in the evenings around Maghrib time as well, right? So what you want to do is you want to say some of these. Now there's a lot of them. You don't need to say all of them, right? Just saying a couple here and there, and some of them you probably know already, it will actually be brilliant for you. And there's lots of rewards attached to this as well. Now with the adhkar, one thing I want to say to you is that these adhkar, there's quite a few of them, I didn't know any of them. Like I hadn't memorized them as a child or nothing. I didn't know any of them, right? The only thing I did is that one Ramadan, I said to myself, you know, in this Ramadan, I'm just going to do a habit of reading the adhkar. And you know, I read them just for those 2-3 weeks, whatever it was within Ramadan. And automatically I started to memorize some of them. And this is what I'm saying. If you build this habit of reading just 1, 2, 3 of them, you will start to memorize them, and then you can add another one and add another one. And again, you don't need to start big. You can just have one adhkar that you say, 1 ayah of Quran. These are simple things that are going to make a massive difference to your day, inshallah. So the next one is to repent for yesterday. Okay. So one of the things I do is I have a document which I basically sit down and I repent for all the things that I did yesterday. Because as we're going along, we are collecting sins. And if you don't repent and clean yourself from these sins, they will be with you on the day of judgment, and no one wants even one sin on that day. So you want to take some time to just think about yesterday. You want to think about what happened yesterday, what were the things that you did wrong, and you want to, like, you can write them down like I do, or you can just think about them, and you can actually repent to Allah. You can ask Allah for forgiveness for the things that you did yesterday. So it's kind of like starting with a clean slate. Like you might have done a lot of things that were wrong yesterday. You reflect on that. You basically think about it. And then inshallah, you clean it and you get on with the day as well, inshallah. So after you've repented, then the next one is to reflect. What do you want to reflect? you want to reflect on Allah's blessings. This is basically you giving thanks to Allah and having gratitude. This is one of the most important things of your day. You know, even now you have health professionals, medical professionals who are prescribing gratitude as a daily habit for people, because they say that it changes your mental well-being, your spirit, all of these kind of things. So you really, really want to take some time to do this. Again, I do this in the mornings, and I write it down. One thing to be mindful of is to remember to be grateful to Allah. Okay, so like the app that I use for this is called the 5-Minute Journal. I'll talk about it later as well. Within it, it says, I'm grateful for. And I'm like, no. I don't want to be grateful for my health. I want to be grateful to Allah for my health. So what I did is I actually changed it, and every day I write to Allah, because we don't want to be thankful to the universe, to just random stuff, to karma. We want to be thankful to the one that gave us everything, who is Allah, right? So you want to reflect on Allah's blessings, and you want to actually write down the things that you are grateful for. And I'm telling you, there are always things for you to be grateful for. So make sure that you write that down. Now, the last thing is for you to request from Allah. This is basically you making dua, okay? This is really, really important as well. I think that you should make specific du'as every day, right? So some du'as are the standard du'as from the Sunnah, but you have things that you want to achieve in your life, in your day, all this kind of stuff. Make sure you make du'as for them. So maybe you could write a list of things that you need to make du'as for. Myself, I have a list of goals and all these kind of things I make du'a for. But in addition, maybe du'as for the long-term future. Maybe you have du'as for the akhirah. Whatever it is, but you want to take a few minutes to actually have these du'as. And one pro tip is for you to make du'a for the day. Make dua that Allah makes the day productive for you. Make dua that Allah makes the day easy for you, beneficial for you. All these kind of things, right, that you want in the day. Because by you making dua for the day, inshaAllah, Allah's going to accept that, and your day is going to become even better. And it's another way of you guaranteeing this. So everything I've talked about up till now, it only takes very little time. It only takes a few minutes for you to do all of these things, right? So I want you to be listing these down. I want you to be thinking about each of these things. And like I said, this could be a very, very short routine, but it will boost your day and then boost your life, inshallah. Just imagine you doing just these 5 hours. It would change your life, especially if you're not doing them already, right? So next, after energizing your iman, the last one we have is to superstack habits. Okay, what is superstacking habits? This is adding on habits to existing habits. Okay, so there might be something that you do very, very regularly, and all you do is you just add on a habit to it, and then you don't need to go through all of that problem of adding on a new habit and the weight of the habit. And I'll give you an example. One of my great friends, Jamal, may Allah bless him, amazing brother, right? Something I remember about Jamal when we were working together in akhirah is that every time we would all go up to the prayer room to pray salah in the building, at the end of the salah, this guy would be there and he would be like doing press-ups after every salah, right? And he's hench, mashallah, right? And he was just doing press-ups. So what he did is he habit stacked press-ups to salah. So he's like, every time I pray, for example, Dhuhr salah, I will do press-ups or 10 press-ups or whatever. And then he just did it and he just hooked it on, so it was an extra effort. The first few times maybe it was, but after that it was just a normal thing, and you know, we would all see him, we know he's going to do his press-ups, all of that stuff. So you have an existing habit that you always do, you just latch on to that habit. Okay, so this is important because it helps you to build life-changing habits in a much easier way. Rather than going through all the stress of doing everything else, you can actually build a habit very, very easily. And this is exactly what will happen here. Like we talked about the 5 hours, right? If you just add on reading Quran to Fajr, suddenly that becomes very easy. If you just add on reading the adhkar after Fajr, again, it's a 1-minute thing, that becomes easy. If you add this on, you can just add it on. So that's exactly what you want to do. You want to actually add it all on, okay? So all you need to do is choose other things that you would really like to do. Okay, so I'm going to give you some ideas of other things that you might want to add on. And all you do is you just add it on to the existing routine. So one thing you could do is you could actually have an existing situation and you can add it on. So if I go to the masjid for Fajr, then I can read the adhkar for the morning on the way to Fajr. Like as I'm walking or driving, I can read that. I'm like, okay, on the way to Fajr, I will do this, right? So this is a habit that you have now. And on the way back, I'll be like, okay, maybe I'm going to listen to Quran on the way back, okay? And just by you setting this, this then becomes a routine that is very easily added. So this could be a way of you doing it. You could actually add on different things. Another thing is using the 5-minute journal after reading Quran. So I have this app called the 5-minute journal. It used to be free. It costs a few pounds now, I think, or yearly membership or something. And what this does is it has a few sections in there which could be very, very useful for you. And I like it because it's a very, very short journal and it's something that I fill out every day, right? So what does it do? Well, the first thing is that it will ask you about your morning reflection. So it'll say, what are 3 things you are grateful for? So the first thing I'll do is I'll write 3 things I'm grateful for. Then it will say, what will I do to make today great? Then I'll write 3 things that I want to do today to make great. And then I might have du'as or affirmations or other things that I basically say in there. But it's also a really good way of journaling your life because I can add pictures on, all this kind of stuff. So check it out. And of course, I'm sure there's free alternatives as well if you don't want to do that. The other thing you could do is you could review a special document which has important things in there. So I have another document which has my goals in there, right? All the things I want to achieve this year, inshallah, it has it in there. So it makes me remember to make dua for those things. It also has affirmations. So there's certain things that I want to say to myself every day so that I can start to adopt that mindset. And I'll give you an example about this, right? Sometimes in the past, many, many years ago, I used to get like anxious and frustrated and all this kind of stuff about things happening, right? Like worrying. So what I did is I created this affirmation, which I wrote out, which I said, Alhamdulillah, this is the qadr of Allah and it is perfect for me. Okay, so this statement, Alhamdulillah, this is the qadr of Allah and it is perfect for me. This is something that I have been saying to myself every single day for years. And so now when something happens that I don't like, I just say to myself, Alhamdulillah, this thing is the qadr of Allah and it is perfect for me. Right? So in the same way, you might have things that you want to say to yourself every day to build those mindset. So all you do is you just open up a page, and from that page, you just add in your goals, you just add in your affirmations or things that you want to track. Right? You can even have a document, like I have a document that I track. What time did I wake up? What time did I sleep? How many hours did I work? What kind of level was I at when it comes to work? All of these kind of things, you can just track this stuff in a document. And again, this only takes a few minutes. Most people in the world don't even have their goals written down. And of the people that have written them down, most don't review them. And so when you start reviewing your goals daily, it brings about a focus that almost no one has. And that focus then drives you to take action. So you can actually create this document and you could say to yourself, right, after I finish reading Quran or after reading Fajr, I'm going to go through this document. And you just read through it. Another great thing about this document, by the way, is that you can actually put stuff in there that you will read every day. So for example, there's some new du'as that I learned. And the only way I learned it is I put it at the top of this document. So when I want to learn a new du'a, I put it at the top of the document. When I open the document, I just read that du'a once, right? And then I carry on. After 10, 20, 40, 50, 100 days of reading that same du'a, guess what happens? You memorize it. Then I take that out and I put a new du'a in there. So just by you looking at this thing every day, that alone will help you so much, inshallah. Now, the other thing is that you can have useful apps. Okay, so you can have useful apps and you can make a section on your actual thing. You can make a section, I'll do a screenshot of it and I'll show it to you maybe. You can have things like this. Look at the camera. Okay, so you see I've got habits there and I've got all the apps that I use. You can see the 5-minute journal there. You can see the other apps that I use. In the same way, you can have a section on your phone and you can have apps there. So for example, one app I found recently, shout out to Mustafa, mashallah, may Allah bless him. He was able to tell me about this app. It's called Kalam. It's free and it will help you to learn Arabic, like the words of Quranic Arabic. Really, really good. I'm enjoying it. I've been using it a lot. So it's completely free. You can use that, right? The other one is Bayna. If you have Bayna subscription or something like that, I like to have something in there because as I'm going through my habits, then I'm like, okay, I need to go through Bayna. And then I just click that and I watch that. You can have any app you like. Whatever app you want to use regularly, put it in a habit section in your phone and then use that, inshallah. Now, the last thing within this section, I'm going to have some bonuses, like I said, I want to go through with you as well, is to end with MITs, okay? End with MITs. What does that mean? That means is after you've finished your actual morning routine, your Allah's hour, then you want to get on with your life. But when you want to get on with your life, you want to do the MIT. What is the MIT? This is your most important task. So whatever the most important thing is for the day, you want to do that first. So for example, for me, one of the things I really struggled with, but I think is so important for my normal life, is for me to do writing. So what I've done is as soon as I finish my morning routine, Allah's hour, immediately after that, I go straight into writing. Okay? So for someone else, it might be going to the gym. For someone else, it might be making breakfast. For someone else, it might be something else. Whatever your most important thing is, whatever you must achieve in that day, I think it's a great time to do it now, because usually at this time of the morning, no one is there. It's very quiet. Your brain is fresh. Your mind is fresh. You are ready to go and do this stuff. So it's really, really important that you do that task. Now, one thing to remember is even up till now, this is all before checking your phone. And I've found, especially with something like writing, if I check my phone before I do the writing, it hurts me. It affects my mindset, my willpower, all of these things. And this is why we're saying up to this point, you have not touched the phone. As soon as you start touching the phone, scrolling through social media, getting those dopamine hits very quickly and easily, you're not going to feel like doing that most important task, because it's going to feel big and heavy. But if you start your day and you haven't touched your phone up till now, then that is going to feel amazing for you. It's going to feel like, okay, I'm going to do this task and I'm going to feel good about doing this task. And then the reward is I'm going to get to check my phone. And this is what I do. I actually say to myself, when I feel like checking my phone, just get this done and then you can check your phone. And because I know I'm not going to check it, I made a decision, and that's what it is, by the way, just making a decision, sticking to it. Then at that point, when I do get on my phone, I really enjoy it, right? So in the same way, make sure that you don't check your phones until your MITs. Now, just before we go into the bonuses, and inshallah that's going to help you even more, please take a second to like this video. The amount of hours it's taken me to compile all this, to actually put this diagram together for you, all this stuff is so much. All I ask is that you just like it so that other people can benefit from it as well, inshallah. So let's go into the bonuses. Now, in terms of the bonuses, the first thing I would say is that we really, really need to remember the night before, okay? Because for you to have a truly productive morning, an amazing morning, and do Allah's hour well, the night before really matters. Like, think about it. I know, and you probably have the same, you know, the nights where I went to sleep very, very late, and I was really tired, and I woke up for Fajr. What was the quality of your Fajr prayer? The quality of my Fajr prayer was terrible. Like, I'm trying to do wudu in a way not to wake myself up too much, trying to do it very, very quickly, trying to get back to bed. Why? Because I'm exhausted, okay? But if you had lots of good sleep and you feel rested, when you then wake up for Fajr, you feel very different. Your mindset is very different. The quality of your prayer is so different. And that's why it's so important for you to work on the night. This is a morning routine video, but at the same time, I wanted to give you some advice and guidance on the night before, right? Just some quick bonuses. The secret to waking up early is going to sleep early. And I know it sounds obvious and you're like, bro, I know that. But a lot of knowledge is not about knowing it, it's about implementing it. Right? So what you can do is you can actually set a time to sleep. This is actually something I struggle with a lot, like really sleeping at a good time. I got to the point where I was actually in a group and we were holding ourselves accountable and we had a fine if we didn't kind of do this stuff. But I would say set a specific time and make sure that you stick to that time, right? Now, the next one is the secret to going to sleep is to eat early. Now, me and Pakistani culture in general, we actually eat dinner very late, right? I know some cultures are like what I would classify as normal, but some of us, we eat like 8, 9, 10 o'clock, right? If you eat at 9 o'clock, you are not going to be able to sleep before midnight, right? So you want to bring that food time much earlier, right? Maybe 5, 6, 7 o'clock kind of thing. Don't eat too late. If you eat late, you're going to wake up late. Right? And then what you want to do is you want to set daily alarms. So for example, if you want to eat, like I had one client, he was talking about how he eats at like 10 o'clock or something. I said, you have to set an alarm for 7 o'clock and say, eat now or stay hungry. And that's what he did. So for this thing of eating, for the time you want to go to sleep, for anything else, you want to put an alarm on specifically to go off every day, which reminds you. You know, just the alarm app is an amazing app for you to regulate your life. So you want to put an alarm app on for going to sleep. And again, you should be implementing what you're learning. So as you're listening to this, go and put an alarm on right now for the time that you're going to wake up, right? Hopefully you have YouTube Premium and you can hear me anyway. So the other big thing I would say is blue light. Everyone talks about blue light being a big thing. What I did is I bought these blue light blocking glasses. I don't have them with me, but they're like these orange kind of glasses and they block out the blue light. What I've found is that when I wear these and I'm still on my screen for a little while, that actually helps me to sleep. Like if I was to sleep, if I have them on for an hour or two before and I'm on my phone or whatever, and I don't have them on, I feel more sleepy when I have them on. So it would help you to keep yourself in that mode where you need to sleep. So you can buy these for like 15, 20 pounds and you can actually wear those every night. Again, set an alarm. That's what I've done. Set an alarm to put these on at a certain time. The other thing is that the time that you actually want to go sleep, you should not be watching stuff in bed. Okay? Definitely avoid this because there's a difference between watching and listening and reading. So what I would advise is actually to listen to something when you're falling asleep, right? Or you could have like a Kindle. Kindle's really good. You could actually read rather than watching something. So the key, I would say, is to listen or to read. So a lot of the times I'm just listening to stuff as I'm falling asleep. That's absolutely fine if you want to do that as well, but avoid the phone, right? And then remember to do the dua for sleeping. This is so important. Why? You know, if you think about your life, that is 24 hours. Let's say you sleep for 8 hours, okay? That's a third of your life. That means that you spend 1/3 of your life asleep. That means roughly there is a third chance, there's 33% chance roughly that you will die in your sleep. Of course, life's not like that, right? But I'm just saying there is a big chance that you may die in your sleep. So the actions that you take before you sleep are really, really important, just like the actions you take when you wake up. And so you want to make sure that you actually take time to do the du'as before you sleep. Make sure that the last thing you ever say when you sleep is a du'a from the Sunnah, is something to do with Allah. Because if you do this, then that means that you died upon the Sunnah. You died saying something that pleased Allah. And like I said, there's like a 30% chance or something you may die in your sleep. May Allah bless you. May Allah give you the best of ends, right? Okay, so let's move on. The second bonus is actually to make this happen. Okay, how do you take this video now that you've watched? You've given all this time to watch it. How do you actually make this happen? Because my goal is for you to actually implement this and change your life throughout it. Right, so the first thing is to decide. Whenever you want to do anything, you need to realize that decision is very, very powerful. So as soon as you say to yourself right now, I will implement this, that alone will help you to implement this, right? So I want you to make that decision right now that yes, I am going to work on my morning. I am going to try and have the best morning routine possible. I am going to have this time which is focused on Allah, and I'm going to do this. So make that decision now. To make that decision, you don't need to do anything. Just make that decision in your mind right now, okay? The next thing is that you need to shift your mindset with the Fearless Muslim. So there is a boot camp. It's a free boot camp. You can do this. This is going to help you to build the mindset, to build the confidence, to build the communication, to have the impact that you want. It's completely free. You can actually sign up in the link, and you can go to that as well. It's muslimmastery.com/fearless in case you need the link, right? And you just go there and you can sign up to this free thing. It's going to give you a few different videos, workshops, all these things, more stuff to help you develop yourself. By the way, if you're getting value from this, please remember to like the video as well, right? So the next thing is make dua for Allah's help. Now, in the last one, I was saying to you that you need to shift your mindset, right? Like you have to think differently and see things differently to achieve something different, right? If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. And so for you to think differently, you have to open that mind. That's what the Fearless Muslim is going to do. But apart from that, you want to make dua, okay? Ultimately, you can take the efforts, but the results always come from Allah. So you want to take a few minutes and you want to make dua for this specifically. Like right now, you want to make dua, Ya Allah, please help me to implement Allah's hour. Please help me to focus on you. And you know, when you take a step towards Allah, Allah takes many steps towards you. When you walk towards Allah, Allah runs towards you. This is a hadith Qudsi, right? So in the same way, if you just take these little steps I'm saying about implementing now, Allah will enable this stuff for you, inshaAllah. So make sure that you make dua for Allah's help. The next thing is that for you to choose 3 things you'll do. So of this kind of thing, I went through loads and loads of different things. You can just choose what is it that I want to do. Like apart from Fajr, which you can't choose, you must do, right? Apart from that, you can ask yourself, what do I want to do? Do I want to do Quran? Do I want to do Adhkar? Do I want to do like, reading something else? Just choose. Think about it right now and even write them down. Apart from Fajr, what are the first 3 things I want to do, right? And I would always say Quran is one of the most important things, right? So think about what are the 3 things I want to do. If you're already reading Quran, what else can I add to that? So think about what you want to add and write those things down now to be the things that you add on to your prayer. The other thing is for you to set an alarm now. So for example, think about tomorrow, right? What time do you want to wake up tomorrow? What time is Fajr? What time do you need to be up to make this a great morning? Whatever that time is, set that alarm now. Okay, set the alarm right now and put it on. And then tomorrow, when that alarm goes off, do what we said. Okay, so you can actually do that. And what I would say is that this is something that you need to put on right now. Put the alarm on right now and set that alarm for tomorrow. So this is basically the overview of the whole routine. Okay, and this is everything we went through. Remember, we said start with Sunnah, energize your iman, and stack your habits, superstack your habits, right? And so this is something I want you to take away. And of course, if you really, really try to implement this, I promise you it will help you in a way that you can't imagine, because as soon as you start making your mornings better, that will actually make your day better. And as soon as your days become better, your life will become better. May Allah bless you. May Allah make it easy for you. If you really enjoyed this video, then you should definitely check out the next one, inshaAllah. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.